we're just gonna hop in, and I would like to ask you to present yourself, tell the people who you are, what you do. I watched a bunch of your videos, and then we can jump into the topic.
Sure. Yeah. All right then. You want me to do a little intro now, or
yeah, just go for it.
Hi. Well, my name's Craig Beckett. I make a random selection of different types of videos. I originally started doing magic performances, and then moved on to making more comedy-based commentary-like videos. And now I just kind of do whatever I feel like doing, I suppose.
Yeah, since the last podcast with Tuzel, we got a bunch of new guests coming.
That's good. I'm not surprised he's a good attraction for people.
Yeah, I mean, Tuzel was like, I think if you count Tuzel, I was watching this video, Isaac and you are the big three that came out of this Boomerang TKO bubble, but also out of the NewYouTuber subreddit. And you cater to different audiences, I think. Tuzel is more like short comedic stuff. Isaac is more like a mix of both, and you are more like commentary, right? That's how I would see it.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. There's different places. There's always going to be different niches and different places for all of us to sort of grow and enhance our own styles on, and plenty of cake to go around. So.
Yeah, exactly. One of my points is always that there is an audience for everyone. The problem is, how do we find them, right?
Yes.
Like, I do indie games. There are a million people playing indie games in the world. How do I find them? There's no hub for them right now. They're like, for indie developers, there's a lot, but for indie players, there's here and there of the odd YouTuber that has indie games featured on their channels, but they don't focus on that, so it's difficult.
Yeah, we're in a very strange sort of situation, at least with the likes of YouTube and even any kind of social media. Once you've got a pillar to sort of be around and sort of be attracted to and build up upon, it starts being seen as a trope, and you've already got the big heads of that genre.
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't have it, you have nothing. But when you do have it, then you've got these big people who everyone knows, and suddenly, you're just copying them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sort of default comment. So you kind of ruined either way. So you've either got no one who knows where to go for it, or they do know, but you're just copying this person.
That's weird. It's weird that you mention it, because Jackey came around and his tweet, I think it was a tweet, he said he doesn't like that people copy him, but I think that wasn't what he meant. And I had a friend of the channel called Nothingbox TV. He said, hey, do you think I copy Jackey because I'll have a similar style, with the green screen and the whole thing? But it's different. Of course it's inspired, but it's different. And people going around and accusing people of being Jackey copycats. I'm like, not really. Even Jackey is inspired by even older YouTubers.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing that infuriates me. When there's the sort of, it's not more the general consensus, because usually when there's a group of people who see something and see everyone's just doing that sort of trend that sort of takes the world by storm, then you can sort of say that everyone's jumping in on that and copying that sort of style. But when somebody says you are like this person, unless you're saying what that other YouTuber word for word, you hit all the same sort of comedic beats, you have the same visuals, the editing, unless you are 100%, then no, you're not copying them, because you're just taking inspiration off of them, adding your own stuff or adding stuff from another person. I hate the concept of you are a copy of XYZ.
Yeah. The angry video game nerd and the other guy that literally copied his videos. A week later, there was the same joke in the video.
Yeah, and
that's a clone.
That's the sort of that is the line. That is the point of when you're straight up ripping the jokes, ripping the material, ripping all of what makes that video, then yes. But if you're taking the persona of the angry video game nerd, you're taking how he responds and reacts to things, but doing it on a different video game, or even doing it on something that's not a video game, you're not copying him, you're taking inspiration. That's something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, like I like to mention this on the channel again and again because I am clearly inspired by someone like Total Biscuit, you know.
Yeah.
And you can see the influences here and there. But one of the things that I mentioned in my reviews is, for example, the menu. And one of the things that Total Biscuit mentioned often in his review is like, how is the menu built up? Are there missing features and so on and so forth? So you can definitely see the similarity, but I try to do it differently. It's the same if you break it down to the smallest to the general topic. Of course, we're talking both about menus, but we're talking about it differently. So I don't see, like, there are clones definitely. Like if you've watched the Boomerang TKO video on Filthy Frank, there are like Filthy Frank clones, literally
of course,
clones.
Yeah.
But there are also inspired people that are inspired by Filthy Frank, and I think there's a fine line between the inspiration and between a direct ripoff.
I mean, yes, it'd be the same as saying that like old school Max Mofo and iDubbbz are just clones of Filthy Frank. It's like, no, they've got the same sort of style of comedy and like vulgar characteristics, but they're still their own people and their own channel. Yes, you do have obviously the clones because they've deliberately gone out of their way to make themselves a clone, even to the point where they call themselves like Filthy Frank 2 or Filthy Frank Jr. Like, obviously that's a clone because they make themselves and they hit every beat, they hit every joke, they've taken time to do it deliberately. But when you find someone who does vulgar comedy, you can't just say Filthy Frank clone. It's like, well, no, not really. And like when you're saying about the whole sort of commenting on like the indie games and whether their menus are up to scratch, that's I wouldn't see that as being a clone. It's like that is a good sort of checklist. It's been orchestrated and it's been made sort of like a key thing in your head from Total Biscuit.
Yeah,
but it's still a good point of being like, that's something I need to remember and I need to look for, and then sort of really push that this is an important thing, which then gets more people to think it. And that's just how these things work. When you've got something that you need to remind everyone to be aware of, then you've got to bring it up. And if people are calling you a clone for that, then everyone's cloning everyone because everyone does that.
Yeah, everyone, like, one of the things that I say often is like, I see that we can go from topic to topic, but won't ultimately lead to the commentary community. But one of the things that I notice in the new YouTubers or YouTubers sub channel, SmallYouTubers subreddit, is that often things are brought up like, try to be unique, have good thumbnails, SEO, search engine optimization, and description. And I often try to fight against that because these are things that are thrown out there and shown as magic. You know, be unique, find your niche, and all these things. Like, if you look at any successful YouTube channel and you would ask them to do the same with a new YouTube channel, they would never succeed. Their success chance would be 0. And
I'm sorry, like nearly I'm not going to say nearly every YouTube channel has got a hell of a lot of luck behind them to be successful. Like, there's not one single thing that you can say caused entire success. Like, you've got astronomical channels and you can't just boil it down. Like you said, like you can't just say, find your niche and find that market. And you can boil down certain things, like saying have appealing thumbnails, because that's basic psychology. Yes, people like to see like flashy, interesting pictures with like a lot of emotion in faces. It grabs people's attention because that's what you're doing it for. You're doing it for attention. And yes, to a point, the search engine optimization, although that's a massive rabbit hole that you're going to dive down for a hell of a long time, and probably have it just flip on you overnight because YouTube is constantly chasing and changing how it works. And then you've got all the YouTubers trying to keep up with it. It's impossible. But so that they're genuine points that you should take into consideration. But the whole find your niche and like do what you think is best, and like sort of follow down this one avenue and don't get distracted and have this many uploads and up to this time. It's like, no, because you've got so many different exceptions to those rules that can't be a rule.
And that's my point. Like, a lot of times it's brought up SEO, make good SEO or follow the trends. I'm like, the problem is it's not gonna work. You're gonna start chasing this trend and it's probably not gonna work. I have been following many YouTubers for the last year or so, and most of them stop. Most of them give up.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to do that, chasing the trends. And I always fight against this post because I think they are harmless to the people that are coming into the new YouTube or small YouTube subreddit. It's not magic. It's not magic.
No.
You can optimize your SEO. You can do good thumbnails and descriptions, but it's not going to lead to success. These are guidelines, an investment into the future. And I think often I might be a little bit aggressive or passive aggressive towards the people that post those things. And I always say it's a guidelines what you're telling here. Don't sell it as a key to success, if there is even such a thing. Yeah, I don't know what you think about it.
my way of thinking about it is that YouTube success, we'll put that as like one big sort of quotation, like whatever you want to call YouTube success, we'll just say that's it for the moment. I see that as the lottery. That's the winning numbers in like the multi-billion pound lottery. And everything you do on your channel is a ticket. So you add good thumbnails to all of your videos, there's a ticket. You add good search engine optimization little tricks for that, there's another ticket. You have nice consistency in all of your videos, so when they see your channel, like, so it looks appealing, there's another ticket. And you've got all your socials in place, there's another ticket. Basically, all you're doing is you're improving your odds of hitting the big numbers to win the lottery. But that still doesn't mean you are going to win the lottery.
Yeah. A random person with no thumbnail, no description, no title, no SEO can still have a billion views video on their channel. In comparison to you that perfected everything, hit every word that has been searched right now, had the perfect thumbnail and the perfect title and perfect description. A random person with 0 views, with 0 subs, 0 SEO, like no tabs, no description, no title, could still have a billion subscribers, and that's how crazy it is.
Exactly.
It is a lottery.
Yeah, and the only advantage you have on like giving yourself all the knowledge to make like your channel consistent and appealing is to then keep those viewers. That's all you're really doing. Like all that stuff, that's the only thing that's going to benefit. So if you do get 100,000 to a million, whatever views on one video, you've got better chances of them trickling on to watching other videos, to subscribing, to watch more videos. That's what all of this information you're absorbing is doing. It's not going to get you all those views. It's going to help you keep those viewers over a long period of time. And that's all you can do. You've got to be lucky, but you've also got to be ready for when luck hits, you're ready to get them to convert and give you more.
Prepare and plan for success. That's what I always say. Like, prepare for that. Like, prepare to have the audience. That's why you do all this stuff like thumbnails, SEO, description, and so on. That's why you do this stuff, not to get the audience. It's like preparing for the audience. Exactly. Makes sense. It's just like, because in the last few days I've been going through Reddit a lot, because you have to keep up, and you try to find new stuff, maybe copy also, or at least be inspired by the stuff that you have seen.
For sure.
And especially on a new YouTube subreddit, I see this a lot. And I'm like, this is not true. This has not been true for 10 years ago, and it's not true today. Like, I don't know. Like, it's sold as this truth, and I'm like, this is annoying me slowly, because when people come into the subreddit and they read it, like, it's not helping. Like, it's not real advice for people. It's more like, I don't know. Well, I
think it helps, but I think...
Sorry. No, please continue.
Sorry, carry on.
No, please continue.
I was just going to say, I think it helps, but not how everyone thinks it's helping. Like I say, I think there's other benefits to all of the advice that people are giving, but I think it's not the advice you need that people are after for the reasons they want it for. So like, it benefits in other ways, like having the consistency of say a video a week. Let's just say that, like, that gives you a mindset of knowing how to structure a video in a short amount of time, to edit it, and then to upload it and all sorts. So you're getting like the knowledge on how to make yourself more efficient with the videos, but it's not the advice you need to make your channel succeed, because you've got no guarantee on that. So I think all these bits of advice do help in other ways, just not how everyone wants it to be. If that makes any sort of sense.
I see your point. Like it's helping. It's helping in a way of mindset, like in your mind palace. It's helping.
Yeah.
To prime yourself into the right direction. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, that makes sense. it's just like after a year, if you've done this, like a little bit of frustration, and you're like, and then you see posts like that, you're like,
yeah.
like,
if they think they're gonna make one video and suddenly become the next PewDiePie.
I mean, yeah. One of the things that a video is coming, I have to finish it because I'm going into vacation, so that's why I'm doing all this stuff. So I have found one channel. If you can look it up. They're called I forgot. Shit, I forgot how they're called. I have to look it up. So they basically have like a DayZ gameplay channel. You know DayZ, the game?
Yes.
So they have DayZ gameplay channel. And one of the things that I noticed, like, the channel looks very weird. You know, like 2K subscribers. Every video hits 2K subscribers. But they only have like consistent 12 upvotes or 12 likes and a few comments. And it's definitely weird. Oh, I have it here.
Yeah,
I found it.
So you got it.
Yeah, I got it. So they're called...
Du hast keine Ahnung.
They're called Official CM Gaming and Official CM Gaming. And they stopped like 2 months or 3 months ago and gone from the internet. I tried to contact them on Reddit, on Facebook, everywhere. No content at all. And if you look at that, it's like, it looks really weird. And if you go into a video, you notice, oh, they have 1K views, but what? Like only a few comments, like 12 comments or so. Even one of
that's
definitely weird, right? And even one
that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right at all.
If you sort like by most popular, they have one video of 50K, which is fine. Like I'm like, okay, 50K, that sounds reasonable, you know, for this game that had come out. But if you scroll down, you're like 26 likes only on a 50K video. That's not even a percent of engagement. That's not real. Like on my channel, I know that people are really watching because around 10%, that's like the engagement you expect from videos, depending on the video as well. But around 10%, that's the engagement you accept, especially for a 50K video.
Oh, and for sure.
And then you scroll down and you realize, oh wait, there are 15 comments? It's like 0.01% of engagement. It's like nothing. I even put that. I even put it in a graph, and you can see like what, like it's not even a percent of engagement. Like it's weird. And I did go through it, and I left it sitting because I didn't want to say, oh, someone is here viewbotting. They are viewbotting. I think it's proven.
Oh yeah, I'd say that any day of the week.
Yeah, they are viewbotting. I can assure you, and they are subbotting as well because I kept the numbers. I think 3 or 4 months ago, and I looked it up. It's still the same. Like same views, same likes, same comments. Nothing has changed. So none of those videos are real, basically. And I'm doing a video in it, and I want them gone from the platform because I think that's harmful. That's not cool to do it as well.
Yeah,
and it's go against the TOS, you know? It is against the guidelines.
Yeah. I mean, you're cheating.
That's... It like I see a lot of people that are doing it for real and they're struggling and trying to do stuff, and then people come around like this. I'm like, oh, come on. The worst thing is not that they cheated. The worst thing is that they have on the SmallYouTuber subreddit, they have a post with 130 likes and a lot of comments telling, oh, yo, 2 months for 1K, man, got lucky, and so on. And they have a 10-point list where they show what people should do to improve. And I'm like, you little asshole. You cheated your way through and you want to give people pointers. Holy shit. And it's not like I don't agree with his points. It's like, this is top tier. I don't know. Like
Shittery.
I don't even have a word for that. It's like, holy shit.
You might have quite unquote the right tips, but you've not put them into action yourself. You've had to cheat to get there. So like, no. When I saw that, like my blood was boiling. I'm like, I'm okay with people doing low effort content. That's fine. The moment you step out and say, oh, here are 10 tips that I cheated my way through, no, because I know people that are struggling and trying to get you out and trying to make good content, like people like you, people like Isaac, people like Tizel,
TKO, people like Boomerang TKO, they're constantly trying to make something good and entertaining for the audience, and people like that come around and like just cheat their way through. I'm like, no, unacceptable, completely unacceptable.
The only good side of it is that one, it's so easily noticeable to see when you go onto these channels and be like, oh, you're fake, you've view botted, and 9 times out of 10 they get their comeuppance either by getting the channel banned or it just goes nowhere because it gets almost like shadow banned almost, and YouTube just sort of lets it go into the night without being seen by anyone,
and they stopped. Like, that's a good thing. But I actually want to talk to them, you know, talk to them and ask them why they did it, because, you know, it's proof. Like, there's no way they could deny that. Like, the more it's obvious. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, mail, they didn't answer. It's been a month. I'm like, because I like to give people a chance, you know.
Of course,
I like to give people a chance. I like to give people, like, maybe they were doing it because they were frustrated. You know, I'm frustrated right now. Of course, I think everyone that is more on the SmallYouTuber or the NewYouTuber sub channel, they and Reddit, they are a little bit frustrated to a certain extent.
Definitely.
I understand. You know, that in the heat of the moment, they said, "Oh, I'm gonna do view botting to get ahead." And like, okay, but why? Like, why do you do that? Like, you can wait
because they're all putting such what's the how to describe that? They're putting so much of themselves and their beliefs in themselves and their abilities down to a little number, like their own personal satisfaction, their feeling of self-worth is only coming from seeing 10,000 views, 2,000 likes, whatever. Like, they're putting their happiness down to numbers, and because they're not getting that happiness, they've got this quick and easy fix. It's for a better description, it's like a drug. It's like it's taking a shot of whiskey or something to get yourself a light buzz. You're just getting that in you to make you feel a little bit better, and some people get satisfaction from doing it like that. That's what I've seen anyway.
But you know that it's fake. Like, what drug is that? Like, you know, because it's fake.
They've got that feeling that that's the moment that the snowball's going to start rolling, and like the algorithm's going to see it, and it's going to start spiraling. It's going to become into this next empire. This is when you become a legitimate YouTuber. Like, that's all the feelings and thoughts that go into people's heads when even making a semi-good video. Add that to the idea of having this thing of like, I've got this good video. If I can get it into the eyes of new people, like, it's going to absolutely bang. What's the best way I can do it? I can advertise it, or I can use a view botting software, or however it works. I'm not quite sure how. I'm assuming just like a load of PCs in a different country just ghosts view the video. Anyway, they do that, and then like the YouTube algorithm is going to see that this video is starting to explode, so they're going to recommend it to more people, and you're hoping that you're going to win the millions. It goes back to the lottery metaphor. Like, you buy a ticket to win $10 million, like, you know in your heart of hearts you're not going to win. But there's still that little bit of you being like, well, what if I do? And I think that is what this sort of stuff really dives into, that feeling.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, it's like they are, instead of using the normal tickets, you know, instead of using the ticket like thumbnail and so on and content, they are trying to use like black market tickets, buying views, buying subs, you know, getting ahead, you know, buying tickets that are clearly not gonna work because they're not official.
Exactly.
I get the metaphor. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I just wanted to listen to the person that was behind it. Like,
of course.
What is their mentality? What are they hoping for? Because I'm sure this is probably not the first time they did it.
Probably not.
From the operation, how it looks very professional. Like, it looks like something that someone has done before.
Definitely. Although when you're saying like the views, but then so little likes and comments. It seems to me like they cheaped out, because like I had to do some research about this for a video that I ended up not doing in the end, about someone who like pretty much the entire channel screamed of fake, and like you can see by some of the comments and stuff. So I went looking into these view botting things, and a lot of them now, like, you pay extra to get like comments and likes and stuff like that, like all the extra bits towards it. So when you see just the views, no likes, no comments, it's like you obviously went for it and you cheaped out as well. So you didn't even do a particularly good job. You might as well spend that extra money and tried to make it look a little bit more believable. We still call it out, but you could at least try and hide it better.
But most of the times you can also notice that comments are made up, because, for example, a lot of people a lot of people then the made up comments, they have something like you know how like you write a letter and you like you have like certain things that you always say, like, hi, insert name here. We are happy to announce that you the name of your customer won something. Like you have those inserts that you can put yourself, and those comments look like that. They're like channel name. You are great video on topic, and it's like oh okay, that's made up. And the CM Gaming, they have those types of comments, and it's like from 15 comments, like 9 of them are like that. They are like they look like made like pre-made comments.
I think people think they're a lot clever than they are when they do stuff like this.
Because I want
suddenly
no, please continue.
I was going to say, then suddenly a load of people take a little bit of an interest and have a little look, and then suddenly, oh yeah, you're not as smart as you thought you were.
Yeah, because there are people that are for real. There is a channel called Out of Sight. They have only one video on their channel. Why is every indie game made with pixel art? And they have almost 500,000 views on their video and 9K subscribers. But you can see that's real engagement. None of those views are bought. Because if you go down, if you could look at, for example, likes, okay, 25K likes makes sense. Like this is like around 10%. And if you go into the comments, you see, oh, people are referring to the video. You know, they're talking about the video. They're talking about all of this stuff. So
specifics.
They're talking about what was in the video and giving their take. So you can see, okay, this is a real video that people are watching. So yeah, like there are like stuff like that you can have a gigantic amount of views on only one video. That's possible.
Of course, I'm totally agree that it's doable, and there's plenty of channels that prove it. But you can just with a few seconds of looking, you can start noticing the fishiness.
Yeah, we have to watch out to not point everyone. Oh, you big view botting. Like that's not how it works.
No, definitely not.
And one of the interesting channels when I was doing this on the CM Gaming, I'm like, there was this girl, Janelle, the van girl that blew up overnight. Janielle, whatever. I was looking into her. I'm like, some of the stuff fit more the CM Gaming bill. Like the comments fit the view count. And then if you look at her channel history, like views are constantly dropping. Like she got on her first video a lot of views, and then on the last video she has like the half of the engagement, basically. Like, this looks weird. But she still looks more believable because people are referring to the video. So yeah, it's like some cases are clear, some cases are clear cheats, some cases are like clearly just organic, and some cases are like there might be some meddling here and there. Like that we cannot prove.
Of course, there's unfortunately, that's if only it was so easy that it could be so clear cut. It could be like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. If that'd be a fantastic world, but sadly we don't live in that one.
Yeah. So yeah, like that thing boiled my blood. The moment I found out, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I was furious. I recorded some stuff and like, I'm gonna let this sit. I'm gonna edit other stuff because I have to, and then I'm gonna write something that is more coherent instead of this bumbling idiot that I'm portraying myself. So yeah, and I'm gonna try to do more stuff. But good, like I think this is a good segment to jump into the commentary community, because this is a thing that I see often in the commentary community, and that's exposing someone.
Yes.
I don't know when it started, but it has been on the internet something that happens over and over again, like exposing someone. And I think it can it can be fun to a certain extent. I think definitely one of the big pillars that basically popularized this stuff more to the general audience is iDubbbz with his Content Cop.
Yeah, he's definitely, I'd say, the mainstream guy.
Yeah, he mainstreamed it. Like before him, there was many of those, but he like brought this kind of content to the mainstream. People that are not involved in the commentary community got acquainted with this type of content. And I want to talk about something like that I've been noticing for a while, is that it's closely related to cancel culture as well. Like,
oh, definitely.
It in the beginning it was more like, oh, I'm showing the stuff that is fucked up that people did, but now it's being weaponized basically. Have you noticed that as well? That is like, it was a thing that was with good intentions, and now it's like weaponized more and more?
I mean, I don't think it's been particularly different. Like, you've got those two ends of the spectrum. You've got the ones who are out for blood almost and trying to end anyone's career on the fact that they used the wrong gender pronoun once upon a time at this convention or whatever. You're like, you've got that end of the spectrum, and then you've got the people who are on the other side trying to make it as funny as possible because they're taking something that's bad, not too bad, but trying to make an entertaining, funny video, which may have a little bit of a sort of point of being like, this guy's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
I think they've always been there because you like the real channel that started commentary is Leafy is Here. Like, really, like he was Kim, Keemstar, Drama Alert, like those H3, yeah, like all of them. Well, they all had their own different ways about it. Like when you said iDubbbz and like Content Cop, it was a full, almost documentary.
Yeah,
like it was an event, and it was a multiple strike sort of thing. It's like he wasn't just going after one person because he did one thing wrong. It's like, no, this guy.
Nerd Cities also comes to mind.
Who, sorry?
Nerd City comes to mind with the Daddy 05 for example.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you go, like, there are some people who need to be brought and held accountable for what they're doing.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like, so, and with that, that's when I hate the term cancel culture, but that mentality of like, no, you've got to face your consequences is appropriate. And those sort of channels who like, here's one offense, here's the second offense, here's this, here's that. Here's like, when you have a whole load of things that you can make this one big video of and try and make it entertaining and insult the person and bring awareness to this topic, this problem, that's the good kind of commentary channels. But then on the other side, you've got people using rumors, hearsay, secondhand information, like obviously edited screenshots of private messages to say that this YouTuber grabbed a girl's ass once. Like,
oh yeah, the recent situation with the whole Slazo situation where he was accused of raping someone, which is a real crime. It's not like it's not like a offense like, oh, he raped someone. No, that's not a joke. That's a real thing. You know, people go to prison for life for this, and like those people, like they're very young. You know, they're like 17, 18, 19, and they're accusing of someone that to try to cancel him. I found that questionable. And I'm like, ooh. I must admit, like, I'll be perfectly honest. Like, when I first heard the ripples in this story, I started diving into it because I thought maybe this might be a video to make and find something, because I've got a very dark sense of humor. Possibly I can find some things to make a joke of before going a bit too far, so I'll try and pull that back. But then I started looking into being like, well, hold on, the messages he has on Discord with his ex-girlfriend, like that, everyone was pushing the narrative of he was persuading and what's the word, this master manipulator,
and all this stuff to like a 15-year-old girl. It's like, well, if we do the dates, not only was he 16 himself, but for a good chunk of those messages he was also 15.
Yeah, so
they were at the same age, and I'm like, when it's 15 and 16, I'm sorry, I still consider that the same age. Like, you're still both kids.
Yeah,
like, at the end of the day,
makes
like,
sense,
you've not suddenly become an adult because like overnight you wrote the earth rotated around exactly this amount of times since you've been conceived.
If you pass the 20 mark, you're probably an adult. Like, if you pass the 20 mark, you
and even some people I'd question.
Yeah, it's questionable sometimes.
Yeah. So like, when you're both 15 and one of you suddenly turns 16, I'm sorry, you're both still kids. Yeah. So like, there was a lot of things in there, and he talks about being like emotionally stunted in like relationships. It's like, yeah, I don't know anyone at 16 who was like a Casanova. Like, if we were all like absolutely sound in our head about relationships and mentality and that sort of stuff, would we not all be with our first love of our lives?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, like, none of us were good at this. We learn over time by fucking up,
and we hurt each other. That's normal. I think that's something that you have to learn how to deal with.
Yeah, and then the fact that was like the best kind of evidence she had, and like all the obvious like hiding certain aspects of the conversation, and like you spent so long holding on to it until now. It's like, that's when I start questioning motive, because even if it did happen, why did you hold on to it for so long?
And no, that I disagree with. I think that people can hold on for very long. The only question I have is like, why go on the internet and not to the police?
Yeah, why not the police? Yes, 100%.
That
exactly.
is the question. Because she clearly had proof, like, right? Like, she clearly had proof to, in her mind, she had proof, basically.
Yeah,
and like,
exactly. Like,
instead of
even the group of friends that she was with, because apparently they took a long time constructing her opening message. Apparently, like from what I read about it, they took nearly 2 months to structure how she was going to do this. It's like multiple people over 2 months didn't come to the conclusion of perhaps take this to authorities and not use the court of Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I didn't understand about the whole story. I'm like, I'm okay with people holding on for stuff and not being able to talk about it because, you know, in my family, my mom had like a real life similar experience. So, and she, until the day, holds on to that. Like, she's not comfortable talking about it. And that's, I question, like, I know it's normal to, you know, blame someone on the internet, but at the same time, I would do the same at the police. You know, bringing, and especially if you have evidence, I'm like, that was questionable. And a lot of people jumped on his bandwagon and trying to basically destroy a person's career. Like, you're a bad person, you raped someone, great, you're gone now. And then turns out, it wasn't like that. Well, the same thing with ProJared. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. I confess I had to put my hands up to it once everything started sort of settling down. It's like, whoa, okay. Because I think that's where I learned my lesson more, because of like initially jumping on something, because you're not going to know every single detail. But oh boy,
these are serious accusations. Messy. This is not a joke, and that's what I like. I like the drama. You know, I'm a person that loves drama. I love to watch drama and commentary channels. I love to listen to what they say. Most of the times they're very entertaining, but I always take like with a kilo of salt everything they say. Like, definitely, it's like I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, I saw a lot of people making, he's a pedophile, and I go, I would hold off making those claims, people. That's a serious offense. And if he wanted, he could bring everyone to court and say, well, this is slander. Good luck in court. Like, this 100%. This is liable, you know? This is not a joke. And I find sometimes that the commentary community can be the good, you know, be the correct and fight for justice. And sometimes I'm thinking, you're going overboard, people. That's a little bit too much. Especially those younger people, like people what are names? Kuwait, Kappa Kaiju, and all the other people. Like, I can't remember off my mind. Like, all these people, like, they're because they're very young, they're a little bit too fast on the trigger, you know?
That's it. I think what the problem we're finding now is that they're so eager to get the video out, to hit the analytics, to get that big boost of views. They're not crossing their T's and dotting their I's.
Exactly.
And that's what's coming back and biting everyone on the arse every time. Like, even the video that I retracted on ProJared, I didn't jump down the whole sort of getting pics off minors. I said, look, here's what's going on in his subreddit. People are starting to accuse him of that. Here's people are making tweets and saying that. That's about as far as I went. And most of the video was me memeing on the fact that he did a serious downgrade from his wife, because his wife is gorgeous. And Holly's nice, but what?
I mean, sometimes it's just like, you don't like, there are people that are cute and gorgeous in real life, but they have the worst character. For sure.
Definitely.
And there could be such a case, you know, like, they don't hit each other, like they're not happy anymore with each other, and I think that's fine. Like, this part of the story I always left out. Like, they're divorcing, they tried polyamorous relationship. Like, this is their stuff, you know. The important part was for me, like, did he receive pics from minors, and like that was the important part. And then it comes out, oh well, that's not how the story did go. Great. Now you're all basically liable for slander. Great. You guys should break, you know. That's my point. Like, sometimes a little bit too fast.
Like, going back to Slazo, that the sort of the second big red flag was when people started pointing out all the discrepancies in the quote unquote evidence. All of the posse, the team around I can't even remember her name now.
Let's call her Cassie.
Cassie. All of Cassie's friends doubled down like instantly.
Yeah.
There was no questioning, no nothing. It's like once people had counter arguments, it was like, no, they doubled down. It's like, it was either they doubled down or it was yeah, but he did this. It's like, well, hold on a minute. What's going on here? Because there's something else we don't know about.
Yeah.
And to me, it looked like they were out for blood, no matter what.
Yeah.
Using whatever method or reason or anything they could to get him down. And that started making me think, well, what's their intention? What's their real intention here?
Yeah. And even after all of that, there's still one guy, I can't remember his name, let's call him Joe. Joe refuses to retract. Like, he says, no, he's still guilty. I'm like, he's by every measurement not guilty of anything. Maybe of being an asshole as a teenager, but I think everyone that was a teenager will say, I hate myself as a teenager.
Oh, absolutely.
If I could go back in time and punch myself in the face, I would do it instantly.
Oh, I would beat the crap out of young me.
Like, go fuck yourself. I hate you.
Yeah.
Grow up, stupid shit.
Oh, I'd push myself down a set of stairs.
Of course.
So fast.
Like, nobody is exempt for being a crappy teenager, of course. Like, you can do better, but it's like, this is all the stuff that people, that are teenagers do. All of them. So
and newsflash, it's made you who you are today. Because you now realize that shit.
And you hurt people with that, and you should maybe behave a little bit more different. So yeah,
exactly. It's we've got a problem now with online where evidence against you from 10 years ago can be held against you today. Like, what?
The internet should be forbidden if you're under 21 should be forbidden for people. You have no access to the internet under 21. Like, yeah. Like, that should be actually the case. Not like I think there's this new COPPA shit coming and everyone is crazy about it. And also, we can talk about that later. But like 13 is their cap. I'm like, no. YouTube should be for people that are like 16 upwards. Oh, no, not 16, 18 upwards. There you go. 18 upwards. Yes. Before that, you cannot join YouTube. Forget about it. You cannot watch anything, not comment on anything, nothing. Just get rid of everyone that is under 18.
Yeah. Social media in particular is probably one of the worst things for teenagers and younger.
If you're 16, hands down. Shafted, gone, banned.
Yeah. It's the worst movie high school in the world. Like, whenever you see a movie about a kid or a teenager in high school, it's always going to be about them being bullied and being abused and having the worst time of their life. Social media is the worst possible form of that for everyone.
I'm so happy that I didn't grow up like that. Like, I always refused to have Facebook. I refused to have Twitter. I refused to have everything. I think I was make it.
Yeah, I think I was 15 when I started dipping myself into it, but like not properly. And it was only like until I was probably at 18 when I really dived into like online. And even then, I feel like I was like being too young.
Yes, same for me. Like I think personal Twitter I don't even have. I have like my channel Twitter and my channel Facebook page, and that's it. Yeah. Like personal, I'm like, you're not getting any. Like, I'm not using that for personal reasons. The people I want to talk to, they have my phone number. I know them personally. I can meet up with them. Everyone else can go fuck themselves. I have no interest. I have no interest in being a personal on those sites.
That's a good mentality to have, I think, quite honestly.
And I mean, it's not against them. It's just like, and their lives might be interesting. It might be entertaining you to watch this stuff. But I think if you're not planning to be someone of the public eye, you're not planning to be someone that is like us, want to be YouTubers, want to be stars, want to be singers, want to be actors, you don't need those things. That's my personal view. You don't need those things if you're not planning to be like, to have a parasocial relationship with your viewers.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's but on the same sort of vein, if you didn't have your own social what's the best word, social profile, if you didn't have you to then follow and talk to these personas who make content, then the people online making content wouldn't have the profiles to counter back with it. It goes around the vicious circle. It's like you're doomed if you do and you're doomed if you don't.
It's like, double bind.
Yeah, the internet is the best and worst thing in the world to date.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much like those tools. You know, tools have no morals. Tools have no evil or good to them. Like weapons
Definitely.
are not good or bad. A hammer is not good or bad. A knife is not good or bad. It's just tools. It comes down to how we use it.
Absolutely.
So on the internet, I think was it you that I mentioned it? No, it wasn't it. On the internet, for example, I tend to be more calm and tend to be more soft spoken. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. In real life, I'm a very angry person. Like I'm very angry and sad. But on the internet, it reverts. And I heard Zach. I talked to him recently. He said he's sad and depressing on his channel, but completely different in real life. So basically happy and chipper in real life. And like, yeah, the internet does something to you. I don't know what, but the internet does something to you that changes you somehow.
Yeah, it feels like you're at a spotlight and you need to put on a persona. You don't want your real you.
Yeah.
In front of everyone. Like if you suddenly got put on a stage, like I've seen it a few times when you've had like volunteers from the audience come up on stage to do something. Usually like when you go to like holiday establishments and stuff like across in other countries in like Benidorm or something like that. You know where like a lot of touristy holiday places have like, events set up. So you got people who are not used to being on stage. They suddenly turn into someone completely different, even though they've got no experience, no training. They put on something. They either lock up completely and they give nothing to the person who's got them up, or they become a super extravagant and they act crazy and weird, because we don't want people we don't know knowing the real us.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah, makes sense actually. Well, on the podcast, it's more like I am more angry on the podcast, generally speaking. Like I'm way more brazen.
For sure.
But on my videos, on my videos, you can clearly see like I'm suppressing something. You can clearly hear it.
Yeah, I think that's normal. Like for the likes of podcasts and talk shows, because it's a conversation, because it's a lot more natural and free flowing. We don't even think about the fact that other people will be listening, because right now it's just you and me talking. As of right now, that is what it is. It's just you and me having a conversation.
But you can't hide it.
And then afterwards, it'll then
you can't hide it for an hour straight. You cannot put a mask for an hour straight. That's almost impossible. Like the person that does that is a real actor.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's just the way humans work, and you get used to it to a point. And I think that's where we're starting to see now. We've got these young, sort of say 16 to 25. So 16, 25-year-old people who have been learning since they've been able to really start understanding the concept of like your personality and like your outward appearance to others, to then have this platform to then constantly be practicing, training it, performing it. This is where we're going to start seeing a lot of the sociopathic-esque, like not full-on sociopaths, but little traits of it,
on
which everyone has. Yeah, not even like you're going down becoming one, but you start naturally just picking up traits of splitting your own personality and your thoughts and how you treat others, because naturally you're going to treat people online differently to how you treat people in real life.
Yeah.
So automatically you're starting to getting into that area of, well, you're starting to categorize and use people for different motives and reasons. And we're starting to get a lot of people who are used to that now and been doing it for a long, long time. And it's becoming nature, and they're starting to forget what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
And that's concerning.
I mean, to a certain extent, once you build an audience, that is also a weapon that someone can use.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, do you know, like when you was when I was listening to you talk there, wishing you'd be able to be in a position where you could just say, you know, follow the boy.
Exactly,
John,
exactly.
And yeah, like that's still technically a weapon. It's a weapon for good, but it's still weaponized.
Yeah, you have to be careful how to wield it.
Yeah, and 100% you could turn it the other way and be like, oh, boy, John, fuck him. Like, what is he even doing on the channel? Like, he's horrible. He's not. I absolutely love John. But using that as an example, like if you have such a large audience who then hears that, and if they're in the mindset of like following everything you say and do loyally without question, you've just ruined that guy's career.
And that's basically what happened with Slazo. That's basically what happened with ProJared. It's like they wielded their audience, like their weapon against someone, and they wanted to destroy them, and it would have succeeded, you know, if it wasn't so clear cut. It wasn't like, oh, it's definitely not true. Like,
yeah, we've just been fortunate. We had 3 big stories, one after the other, all suddenly clap back being like, not true, not true, not true. You had James Charles and Tatty Westbrook, that whole battle, and that came back being like, well, hold on, not the case. So everyone that was in that cancel culture mentality suddenly went, oh, hold on.
Yeah, it has died down. It has died down.
Oh, for sure. Then you had like the Slazo one, and that got countered, proving that it's not 99% as bad as it was tried to be made out. So everyone died down about that. Yeah. Then you had the ProJared thing, which was kind of like, I'd say 75-25, because you could say that 25% was like the using his audience to get news, even if
he was still stupid. Like I don't deny that he was still stupid to ask anyone for adult pictures.
I mean, I had the mentality of if everyone's of age and consenting and they know what they're all doing.
No, he's still stupid for doing that.
Of course, but like, there's no crime against it. Like, as I say, if they're legal, then go at it. And if that's what tickles your pickle,
it's like saying, we have to ban porn. Like, those are 2 consenting adults having sex on a camera. Why should you ban that? That's
exactly
dumb.
Yeah, it was stupid. But as I say, that you did have those sort of things. And yes, he did technically have these messages, but it was under false pretenses. And so you could say still 75% at least was countered back.
Exactly.
So we've had those 3 big things. And then you had the one that really sort of got up my trumpet about the indie deb Holika. Is it Alec Anthony? His name now off the top of my head.
Was it the
I need to...
What the game was? What was the game? Yandere Dev? Was it that? No,
I think it was. 1 second.
Was it Yandere Dev that he did? Yeah, I think he did a bunch of stuff, like didn't pay a bunch of people, and he.
No, the story of Zoe Quinn and Alec.
Zoe. Okay, so Zoe Quinn, basically, she has a heavy hand of someone's suicide. Like, she's a big influence. Like, she's not responsible. I don't accuse anyone for being responsible for someone killing themselves, but she was a heavy influence in this man's suicide.
I'd say, without, like, if there's the line of, like, when you say, like, somebody helped this person commit suicide, and that line is that they gave them the equipment to do the job.
Yeah, that's what's basically her.
Yeah, I think she got as close to that line as physically possible to be in the cause of that suicide, in my opinion.
Again, she was not responsible for it, but she had a heavy influence on that, I would say.
That's what I'm saying. That's what she's as close to that line as possible.
And even if the person was the worst person on earth, still, like, this doesn't change the argument that she still was responsible for the influence.
Yeah, she weaponized not only her audience, but a whole load of, like, Gamergates and, like, all these communities. She weaponized them just by
throwing stuff out there.
Which, I'm sorry, none of it is particularly solid evidence. Like, it is paper thin.
Oh,
and she has track records of lying.
I'm actually doing I'm trying to get a big expose on Anita Sarkeesian, actually. Like a gigantic thing. I'm still getting stuff, I'm still getting information. I'm not even started with, like, real research. I'm just consuming stuff, getting all the information, get links and so on. It is a gigantic rabbit hole. It is. But I want to focus on the other side, which is like, we're not talking about politics yet, but we have to a little bit. So left and right, like, Zoe Quinn is often a credit to left, which she's not actually, if you look into that. She's not left-leaning, if you look in what she actually says. But on the other side, you have someone like The Quartering, which is also a commentary channel. But I would say he's more a reactionary channel, since he does 3 videos a day, and I think that's not feasible. It's more like if Google would pick articles on everywhere and put that in a text to speech thing and add a few comments to it, that would beat the quartering. Nothing against the quartering. I think it's still, that's the content he does. I think it still fills a market. The problem is the reactionary stuff. Often he does a news and then comments on it, and especially with the Philip DeFranco situation, that was the case that kind of bothered me. He said about the Veritas program that Google is pushing some stuff, and then Philip DeFranco reported on it, but he didn't report how the quartering wanted. So what happened was, said, oh, Philip DeFranco is a Google shill. Like, oh, dude, like, it's okay if you have your own opinion. The moment you step into conspiracy theory, I disagree with you completely.
That's it. Like, I think we've got the problem now of these commentary channels starting to think they're news reports.
Yeah, channels. Which they're not.
No, because if you're going to be a news report channel, you have to be completely unbiased and say things exactly how it comes to you.
You have to try at least, be as objective as possible. And it's fine to have your own opinion. I think that's okay. I think a news should be able to add their own opinions, but that has to be clear. Like on a Philip DeFranco show, you can see, okay, this is the news. Then he says, this is my opinion. I hate child diddlers, for example. That's like a thing that he's been saying for years, and I think not will change.
No, I 100% agree with that. Like, the problem is we've got these channels now that are starting to blend their commentary into claiming like the news or whatever, and then you get these problems of like this large story, or not even particularly large, then having a little things injected into it, which someone then hears about, repeats it, adds their own little bit of commentary into it. Somebody else hears it, repeats it, adds their own little bit of commentary to it. Suddenly you've gone from somebody who slapped a girl's ass to apparently destroying half the eastern seaboard. Like, it's Chinese whispers. If you kept to the story would stay consistent. So how come I can hear one commentary talk about this thing, and then I can go down the line a little bit, and suddenly the story's changed from that? It's like, it started from the same place. So how come I'm hearing different information now?
Because it's secondary sources. Like, it doesn't even resemble the original story anymore. I get it. Yeah,
exactly. And that like, for me, that's what I when I was sort of pushing the sort of commentary stuff, it's like, if I ever did anything that was factual, I was like, here's like the original image, document, link, whatever, to the thing I'm talking about. Yeah, like you keep it to there. Like, this is this thing. This is the thing I'm talking about. Now here's the joke I'm gonna make. Yeah.
When I talk about like because I did one as well, like I did one thing that was important to me because it uses stats. It was the claim that a comic book, the female Thor, sold more than the Thor comic book, and I think, oh, that would be actually a good thing, But the problem is the stats are just wrong. The person did compare numbers that didn't even make sense. In comic books, the longer a series go, the less comic books itself make sense, right? Like, people drop off. So she was comparing the first 5 of the sold comic books to the last 5 of the series. I'm like, oh my, what are you doing again? And things like, she didn't correct for comic book, the size of the comic book market. She didn't anything. And if you do that, all this stuff, the difference becomes 0. You could even argue that the difference is actually negative. The female comic book sold less. You're like, come on, like, if it's okay, I want this as well, because like, it's okay. I want this, but I'm not gonna let my personal bias influence the actual data, and that's the problem.
And nor should you, nor should anyone. And that's the problem we've got with now getting people's opinion mixed way too much into the facts. Yeah, like, you can have your facts and you can have your opinion. You can have the proof and then you can make the jokes, but don't confuse the two. Yeah, and that's I think that's what is slowly starting to be learned at least in the commentary channel. I think I'm starting to see a lot more commentary starting to realize what's going on. They're being like, no, if we're going to make it fun and entertaining, it's going to be lighthearted. It's going to be easy stuff. We're not going to go into big things
that could end someone's career.
Exactly. And if they do go into big things, they keep it to the facts. Yeah. And I'm grateful to see that. I'm really am, because it was getting very messy. Like, beginning of this year and late last year, it was Yeah, everyone had their knives out.
Maybe it's because of the whole echo of 2016 election. Maybe like there was the whole echo of this. Everyone on the barricades. Everyone wants to fight. And I noticed that on Twitter as well. Like the moment you go on Twitter, you are in fight mode. You're like you're stepping into a ring. You have to defend your opinion. There's no way someone.
Oh yeah.
I noticed that myself. Like you go in like. I want to fight. I'm in a ring. And that's I don't know where this come from. Maybe it's because it's so quick and there is a character cap, so you can't really express yourself how you want to. So the whole structure just presents you with fight. You know, it's like shot here, shot here, shot here, shot here. There's no way to stop and think what you're actually writing. So maybe the structure gives this frame.
I think a lot of
for you to fight.
Yeah, I think a lot of Twitter gives you the mentality of you've got to have the one-liner sort of mic drop moment.
You
reference something, it's like you want that one line where you can just drop the mic and walk off and like peace out on it. But the problem is because of how it's structured, being so sharp and snappy, like a lot of the sort of underlying intent in what you're trying to say comes from the extra words that you say. So when you boil it down to a one-line thing, it leaves it very ambiguous. And because everyone's on the defense, because obviously people they don't know are saying something that could potentially be something that's either at them or at something that they are personally attached to, they see it as an attack, because how else can you see it, like a one line sort of thing? And a lot of that has been, it goes out of context and spirals, and then you start having full-blown fights. I mean, I've been in it many a times because I'm way too over opinionated on Twitter. I'm trying to make some laughs and I end up getting things of like, oh, you can't say that, how dare you say this, and like you're just being sexist, or you're just being this-ist, like whatever's the ist of the day, like whatever I'm saying against is like, that's I must be against it. I must hate this certain section of the human race. It's like no, I'm trying to say it, A, how it is, B, how I see it, and C, trying to make a good joke out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I catch myself all the time, like, I'm doing something wrong, and aren't I? Like, do you know this clip of those two English comedians saying, are we the baddies? I'm like, are we the baddies? Like, yeah, kind of, probably. So yeah, I don't know, like, it's weird. But I had one question, because there's this rumor that has been going on since probably the inception of YouTube, is that, since YouTube got bought by Google, that Google doesn't make YouTube any money. And I have been fighting this claim forever.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of big YouTubers bring this up again and again and again. I always ask for, give me the fucking evidence, and nobody can provide it.
Yeah. I've heard that rumor so many times now, and I'm like, yeah.
So what do you think? Like, I'm okay. Here's my whole take. YouTube has many income streams. They have the whole stream service. They have YouTube Red and YouTube Originals. They have YouTube Music. They have ads. Now it's 2. It's not only 1. Mm-hmm. It's 2 before a video. You're forced to watch 5-second things, which you were not way back then. So they can actually say to advertisers, you get 5 seconds for sure. So they can sell 5 seconds for sure. Then they also have data on every account, meaning that they can sell extra if an advertiser wants to click on certain groups. So I don't know, like, and they also sell films and stuff. Like, this is impossible that this operation is not making money. And of course, there's this whole operational costs, like their videos have to be stored somehow. But Google is a tech company. They have a solution for that. Like, I work in tech. I know there are databases that are specifically made for videos. There's also something called decompression, where you can store large videos in a small area. So yeah.
Hello, are you still there?
Yeah. I just want to say there's something called small that is called compression. You can store large amount of data in a small area, but don't tell anyone. It's secret knowledge. Like I find this like this take every time, like, this is impossible. Like, why do you tell that to people? That's not true. That's not true. Like, nobody can bring on evidence for that. And like, this is wrong. Stop saying that.
I mean, you can even come to the same conclusion working backwards on all of the money that it costs them. Like for example, we're going to go into FTC for a second and all of the outbursts that's recently happened about.
Okay, let's jump into COPPA when you want to talk about that. Let's go.
Yeah. But before we get into that properly, like I want to make the comment of, so they got charged $140 million for snooping on
kids
for under 13-year-olds, wasn't it? Like, yeah, they were gathering information and they were charged $130 million if a branch of your company that you did not make money off suddenly cost you $130 million in legal fees. You would drop that like a hot potato, just straight up, like. Plus all of the problems, like all of the notoriety and the media backlash and all the other stuff that will come with it, would drop it in a heartbeat.
So they at least made $140 million. And
of course
they probably have like a legal fund, like a legal bank account. So if that is in their bank account for only legal stuff, that's most of the times it's 3%. Now you can go back and see how much money they actually have in their bank account as YouTube only, not Google, YouTube.
And you can make the comment of, well, if YouTube doesn't make money, also that apparently Amazon never makes profit every year.
Yeah.
Which technically on the books they don't. And it's like, hang on, they're the biggest company in the world and they don't make profit. What? No, because they're investing into other things. They're investing it into products, produce, systems, all that sort of stuff. So can't you say that YouTube's doing the same at the very, like, if you want to give them the biggest benefit of doubt, all the profit is going into AI, the system, the management, all that. If you give them the biggest benefit of the doubt, like you are going beyond optimistic in believing their intentions. Like you're almost a TV character at this point. You're not a real human being. You could say that all the money that they're not making, in big quotation marks, is going into improving the infrastructure.
So
realistically, they're lying.
Quick intermission for everyone that's listening. So for companies to say, oh, we don't make any profit or revenue, I think revenue is before cost. So we don't make any revenue. They do the following. They set up a company somewhere where they don't have to pay taxes. And they say, that company made money because we have to pay to that company. We didn't make any money. That company made money. We didn't make any money. No profit, so they don't have to pay taxes. That's how it usually works. And like this is like, and the worst thing about it is like I searched for weeks for a financial report on YouTube. You can't find one.
You're more likely to find a unicorn.
You can't find them. And why can't you find them? Because it would show that YouTube is making so much money that it's unfeasible for anyone to think that YouTube is not making money. YouTube has gone through so many company shattering crisis, and they're still here.
Exactly.
I'm like,
two apocalypses.
I don't like this. This rumor is so ingrained in those people's mind. Like, oh, YouTube is not making money. Stop saying that. I swear, like one day I'm gonna have a stroke when the next person that says it, I'm like, stop, don't. It's wrong. It's false. No, stop. That's not true. Stop saying that. Give me some evidence, please.
It's mental that people think it, because you've got too much proof against it. Like, yes, you haven't got any numbers, but you can just go by what's happened, by situations, by events, and come to your own conclusion.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for the assumption that YouTube doesn't make Google any money. If it was the case, it would be very weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, if the YouTubers can make six-figure salaries, the people on the platform, how come the platform can't make money?
Yeah,
like seriously, like,
it's questionable.
It wouldn't happen. That'd be like owning a bread company and the baker makes more money than you. Like, what? Excuse me?
Yeah. I mean, and YouTube is not even good at sharing, right? Like they don't even tell you how much they take. Like they probably take 90% of the ad income. You take like the last 10%. And if that's the true and people can make six-figure salary, like YouTube is making a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, just just take a second to think. Like a PewDiePie video makes what, 20 million views, let's say.
Yeah, usually average, probably.
Yeah, 20 million views, and say it gets adverts on it, which I'm sure it would. And like his channel, he's got like, how many videos has he got on his channel these days?
I don't know, 5,000.
Let's just do this quickly and have a quick little see if it will come up with his video count. So you've got 4,000 videos. All of them, let's say, have got at least 10 million views.
Yeah.
So that's 4 billion views. All, I'd say a good majority of them are monetized. And he makes enough money to have multiple houses across the world.
Yep.
And say that YouTube at best has exactly the same amount of money that he does from him.
You could probably pay like 100 workers easily.
Yeah.
For a whole year, for several years.
For the money that he makes, and let's just say they make equal amounts to what he makes from his channel.
Yeah.
Just to make quick and dirty numbers. That could pay for 100 other channels of the same magnitude of his channel.
And PewDiePie is not even the biggest channel, like from view-wise.
Yeah, for view-wise and like money-wise, because as of late, he's been kind of blacklisted. But exactly my point. Like his size and the amount of money he brings is enough to fund 100 other PewDiePies.
Yep.
So the numbers just don't add up.
Yeah. The claim is void. The next one that claims that, I'm gonna slap them. Like I'm gonna go to the house, I'm gonna slap them over the face and say, tell me that again, and please bring some evidence. Yeah. No.
Go full Pulp Fiction Samuel L. Jackson on.
Yeah. I'm gonna burst in the house and say, stop it already.
Say it again, motherfucker. Say it one more goddamn time.
And you start using the metric system. No, but let's since we're talking about this YouTube thing, let's talk about COPPA. Okay. So this has been bothering me as well, because every time something changes, people start running like headless chickens. I'm like,
yes,
stop, please, everyone, calm down. We have to look out. And there's this big video by, I forgot his name. I forgot the name of the YouTuber. But he's like could be considered a child channel, but he's clearly, everyone that watches his video are not gonna say, well, no. And the Game Theorist, for example, they did a video that has 3.6 million views. Like, you're wrong.
Yeah, that keeps getting recommended.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Everything you say in this video is wrong. So to be clear here, the FTC is a government brand. Yes. They are not a YouTube. They are not a company. They don't have endless resources. If they're gonna accuse someone of breaking this law, which is not considered to be a law that will get you if you're directing your content towards children, it's about gathering data on children. This has nothing to do with channels. Channels have nothing to do with COPPA. Like, the channel is not getting any info on children. They're making the content. YouTube is the person getting on children. But what they did, which is very smart and also could be against the law, they just passed the responsibility over. If you say your channel is for children, then you're liable for COPPA. But no one in their right mind is going to say that their channel is for COPPA. And for the FTC to prove that your channel is for COPPA, they will have to have a gigantic expose with a bunch of proof. Unlike YouTube, that can just kill your channel with one fell swoop without any reason. So to be clear here, FTC is not gonna do anything. It's not gonna. Nothing is gonna happen. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
FTC will maybe get like a percent.
Last thing. The only two people that should worry about this are the Paul brothers. That's the only two people. That's real. I'm not joking here. That's the only two people.
No. I totally get it. Like, because of how notorious they are. Yeah, 100%. There's a few of like the disgustingly huge children toy opening channels and stuff that could possibly be under the
Ryan Toys Review, for example.
Yeah, they'd probably be in the crosshairs of the FTC. Well, if they suddenly started saying, "Oh, we don't make videos for children," so like the big big kids channels, if they're caught lying, they are 100% boned. But as you said, not by the FTC, by YouTube, because at the end of the day, the channels aren't digging and finding information on the kids. It's the algorithms that YouTube have implemented, and they, I say, maybe in their terms of service means that they can direct the buck over, and that's what the whole. That's
the point. Like they implemented that change into, oh, you have to point out if your content is for children to pass on the responsibility.
Yeah.
But that will not hold up in front of the law. YouTube will still be responsible to a certain extent for it.
For sure. And like even on like the biggest of blue moons, and say like, let's say a court looks at it and says like, yo, yeah, that's legit, and like everything falls into line to be beneficial to YouTube and pass the buck massively over to YouTubers to be like, our channel is for kids or not. And there's a little thing I want to come back to actually about whole channel designs and everything about ages, but I'll get back to that in a second. The FTC, as you said, like they're a government organization. They're not going to be able to keep track of and investigate
of course not
all of the legitimate people who are lying about their kids channels not being a kids channel, let alone all of the potential grey areas. Like they're going to be absolutely avalanched if they started looking into that sort of field, and it's just not viable. Like unless you are, as you said, like the Paul brothers or the toy reviews, like if you are not on the absolute tip of that iceberg, you don't have to worry. Because even if you're in a grey area and you play Pokemon or some shit, and like if it was like me sort of being casual and playing Pokemon and having a chat about something, and you could say it's a grey area because it's a kid's game, but the communications, the talking is more adult themed. It's like FTC cannot be asked to look at that because they've got a million other channels that are probably a lot less grey than that.
Yep.
It's mental, the situation that they've got in order to implement this system.
Yep. And
it's not possible.
And let's not forget, the FTC are humans. It's not a bot.
Yeah.
It's not gonna look at some, oh, it's a cartoon banned. It's not like a bot on YouTube. A human will have to look.
An investigation.
Yeah, a human will have to look over your content. But if your channel is like child centric and it wasn't signed as that, like stamped as that, then you have a problem. But I think most people would say, no, it's not child content. Go fuck yourself.
And like, even then, an FTC person says they come across your biggest hypothetical. They come across your video and they see you playing My Little Pony for the next 2 hours or whatnot. They then have to message YouTube to then get in the metadata to find out if that channel is saying, kids or not. Like there's a process on top of it. And do you know how hard it is to get in touch with YouTube anyway?
Yeah, it will take some time until the first lawsuit comes. And we do not forget, law. These are not bots and vague guidelines. They will have to respond to the law. They will have to give a gigantic expose on what you did wrong. And if you if you broke the law, like they have to reason that. It's not like that's the reason. Like I think people like YouTubers that are big, they are used to this weird behavior from YouTube that they are not held accountable for nothing. And okay, I will jump into this because I'm German and we have unions here. So go fuck yourself, Americans. Actually, in Germany, where soon there will be a lawsuit against YouTube that I've seen that. Yeah, that will actually say, because actually what you have in YouTube it's like a faux worker employee relationship. But with the added thing that YouTube cannot be held accountable for anything. They can change everything they want from one day to the other without even informing you. So it's basically what YouTube is like a boss that comes into a room and says, "Oh, you're doing good today." Comes the next day, takes a chair or a table and hits over your head like, "Fuck you, go away, you're banned." Like that's what YouTube is, and that's not like it is a faux employer-employee relationship. And it's like in Germany, there will be soon a lawsuit that will fight against it because it has been this for years. And we should not forget, the FTC is a real thing. It's not like some vague guidelines. They have to reason why they are suing you. It's not gonna be, oh, I have a cartoon avatar, I'm being sued because it could be considered children, or I have the word cool in my video, so it could be considered. No, that's not how it works. That's not how the law works. Like, lawyers have to make big statements to prove to a judge that what they are telling them is true. So, no, the only thing I can say, stop worrying about the FTC. It's not going to do anything. And this is a thing against the game theorists. They can go fuck themselves. They did this.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. It's everything they said is wrong. Everything. Like, how can you be so wrong and do so many mistakes? Like, no.
I mean, there's an awful lot of whispers that go around about game theory and their channel and some of their talent about, and they're a spicy group. Like, there's a lot to dig there.
No,
if somebody wants to go mining, that might not be a bad vein to go in. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, they always got accused of shit that doesn't make sense, but there is some real criticism towards them. Like,
100%.
Like, to accuse them of something that is actually provable instead of this weird shit that always comes. I'm like, they didn't do this. Like, they did other stuff that is way more questionable.
Yeah, that was my theory. It's like there's well, it's the old saying, when there's smoke, there's fire. And there seems to be an awful lot of smoke around them. And there's a few things that are like, well, no, you're just being silly. But there's a lot of stuff that keep coming up. And it's like, interesting.
It's definitely...
It's just either here or there. But like, one
of the things... Game theories,
sorry.
Go fuck yourself. That was one of the worst videos I ever seen this year. And it was even worse as I want to find the whole... From who it was. But it was from someone. I forgot his name. It was also big. Like, also had millions of views. Forgot about it.
What was the video about? Was it a similar?
Was
it about the same story?
It was similar, and it did the same mistakes and same shit.
I'm trying to think who else made a big video like that.
He's usually like kid-centric and has like a bright orange room.
It's not Guava, is it?
Not Guava, no.
No.
Or bright green, orange, something like that. I can't remember. Whoever, like, everyone that's doing a COPPA video, you're all wrong. Like, you're all wrong. Like, every video I watch, I'm like, you're wrong. You're wrong. Chatronic. I found it. Chatronic. Also 1 million views. Like Chatronic, you're also wrong.
I think they turned it almost into a trend in its own to get views in on the video. Like, it was a big buzzword. And like so many YouTubers suddenly pooed their pants, and it's like, oh, we got to look at this up. We've got to look this up. And
I did want to do a video, but I'm like, I'm just gonna be angry at all of those people that are doing everything wrong.
The best one I heard. It wasn't absolutely fantastic because there's a few things that I sort of went, well, no, you could have gone more into detail about this and that. But Jimquisition.
Oh yeah, he did. His take was like the same as me. Like, nothing is gonna happen. Like the only people that should be worried are the people that are actually doing this stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, as I say, there was a few things that I think he could go into more detail of, but it was still probably one of the better videos out there for like, well, this is actually how it's going to go.
Yeah, nothing is going to happen. Like, for reals. Like, I hate this. I just hate it.
Yeah, it's mental.
Same thing happened with Article 13. Like, I think it's good that the people said, oh, this is a bad thing. But again, it was also fear-mongering to a certain extent. Like,
to a point, but then again, I have also noticed a few things of like a few videos and stuff that I've searched suddenly disappear when I don't have a VPN on.
Oh,
like,
that's not good.
I've seen like certain what's the word, like different I'm trying to think, like people who make their own versions of songs, cover songs.
Oh, okay.
And,
but that that could be something like companies tend to block them in certain countries, so that could be also
and no, like, well, it might have been just very unfortunate timing that it happened when Article 13 started going on, so quite possibly. But there's been a few videos that I've seen that I've looked for later down the line and suddenly couldn't find them, then turned the VPN on, and don't even change countries. I just put the VPN on, and then click. It's like, oh, okay.
So basically shadow banning.
Yeah, it's like, okay, interesting.
Well, Article 13 is definitely something to worry about, but that was a good fight, that made sense. But this is just a faux fight. That makes sense. Nothing's gonna happen.
Article 13 blown out proportions, but the base of it still had something there to be concerned about. This No.
No,
But it did bring up the argument I've been having for so long: is why do we not have age rating systems on our own fucking channels?
Well, okay,
it boils my blood.
Since we are shitting on YouTube already, why can't I contact my subscribers as a small channel?
Good question.
Why can't I cannot message them? Like, I don't know if they've watched my videos. I don't know if they got a notification. I have no clue.
Yeah, the system is absolutely hilarious.
I cannot even see which subscribers I have. I can see a certain amount of them, but I cannot see all my 130 subscribers.
For quite some time, that you'd be able to go through and see like this person subscribed and stuff like that.
Like, why is not the community tab for me free? Like, what the fuck? What is going on? Like,
I have big and important enough. We're not making enough money for.
Okay, let's shit on YouTube more. One other thing. Their update system. I'm pretty sure nobody knows what a bell does, and if someone explains to me what it does, I will not understand it. Because as far as I understand it, it doesn't matter. Like, even if you press it, if you press it, YouTube is still gonna decide if someone gets a notification or not.
Yeah,
it's like saying, "Oh, do you sign this paper? Yeah, we don't care. We're gonna do whatever we want either way."
Do you want to follow this person? Yes. Do you want to really follow this person? Yes.
Yes. Do you really want to follow a person? Yeah, we're not gonna show anything from them.
Yeah, it's like you have to subscribe, you have to hit the bell, you then have to right-click on it and make sure that you've got all notifications turned on. Like, what? What happened to just subscribing?
Yeah.
Isn't that the point of subscribing?
I mean, the reason behind it is like, if you get notifications from every your channel, people are gonna stop watching.
Would they though? That's the
thing. It's scientifically proven that if you get too many notifications, you get this decision paralysis. You're not gonna watch anything. There's a scientific reason for it. But god damn it, those people that already pressed the button, they want to see it. Like,
that's it. Like,
people that press notifications.
I'm under the belief that.
No, please.
Like, I'm annoyed that when you hit the home screen on YouTube, why isn't the first tab not from your subscriptions? Why is it recommended? And it's from channels that I'm not actually subscribed to, but I clicked on one of their videos once when I went down a rabbit hole.
But probably also scientifically proven that people watch more recommended stuff than the actual subscription stuff.
Yeah, because it's how far down the scroll. Like, you scroll down, it's not in front of you. Like, I'm looking at it now. I've got recommended, then breaking news, and then I've got my subscriptions. And even then, like, I'm looking at these, and these aren't even my subscriptions. Like, this is more vaguely recommended stuff based on things that I've watched in the past. And like, I'd have to actually go to the tab on subscriptions. Like, why is that not the very first thing I'm looking at? Like, I'd have to manually sort of like right click on the tab and be like, this is what I want to have pinned to my tab. I think, like, why is this not here? Why am I getting recommended the friggin' late night show with Jimmy Kimmel? I don't even like the guy.
Okay, another thing that YouTube is lacking, like, has nobody noticed that? Because probably nobody uses it. If you search for something, have you realized that you cannot, sort from lowest to highest?
Oh, of course, yeah. I've seen that in quite a few different systems, not just like videos, but I've had a few ideas that I've wanted to make for videos, and I've wanted to go from the worst to the best. Yeah. And you cannot search anything in the worst, from the worst up. And I understand why, because they want to put their best feet forward. They want everyone. But I
want to have the possibility to sort. It's my choice.
I want the option. Like, I can understand if you have it as default as like the best stuff forward, but I'd like to be able to find a tab that says, no, start from the worst, please.
And as far as I remember, it was possible at some point.
Yeah, once upon a time. But then people started thinking, then companies started telling us how we wanted to know things.
Yeah, dark patterns.
So
Also, have you noticed that you cannot click on your subscriptions and search for your subscriptions? Like, there is no button that you can say your subscription list, the people they're subscribed to. Have you noticed that?
Oh, I can. I'm looking at it now.
No, yeah, but like, where? Like, I can only go into more subscriptions, browse channels. But I cannot go into my subscriptions and look like every channel in like the icons only. Well, like a list of my subscriptions.
Oh no, I'm looking at subscriptions video, and it shows like all of the videos that I've.
No. I mean like a list. a list of all the channels I'm subscribed to
and
search that.
Understood. Yeah. No, you've got the drop down thing.
Yeah, only the drop down. But sometimes I want to search for like a name that I can find.
You can search. Yeah. No, it's yeah. I don't know why that's not a thing anymore.
Like all this weird shit. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what is this?
Because they're telling you what you want. Okay. You don't know what you want. They know what you want. You don't know what you want.
Let's shit on YouTube more. Their upload thing. I'm getting used to the new upload window, but god damn it, it's a shit.
Oh, it's an absolute shithole. No, I prefer the other one all day long. Like,
how can they do that? Like, it's so bad. It is so bad.
Again, they're telling you what you want. You don't know what you want. They know what you want, apparently. That is YouTube in a nutshell. You don't know what you want, and they know.
And that's what a union would actually fight. They would have to go to the union and say, "Can we change that?" And we would say, "No, go fuck yourselves. Everything you're saying is shit. Every change you want to make is shit. We don't want that."
Yeah, it's
because who benefits from that? Not us. We are uploading this stuff and we're saying, "No, it's bad."
Yeah, and it's like this. It amazes me what they will change and what they won't change. Like I was saying before, like the age system, like we know in the background, in the metadata, they have to have an age rating system for your channel and videos. Each one a certain age rating. If you have to be this way, like whatever, like it's obvious. It has to be there. Like even Nerd City done a whole thing about it. Nerd City
has X on his whole channel. Meaning none of his videos are going to land in recommended because they're X, even though they get millions of views in the first 24 hours. Same goes for iDubbbz. He has also X rating. He got on his Tenemongo video, he got like 5 million views in the first 24 hours. Not even a trace in recommended. I'm like, what?
But why? But even if it's got this age, if it slaps this age rating system on it, let's say if it's fair or not, that's a whole other debate.
Yeah.
But why cannot we at least see it on our channel?
Yeah, more control.
Like, yeah, but what does it benefit them hiding it from us? Like we can then structure our videos to be at the audience that we want it to be, and then you'd have a lot more of a cleaner cut system. And they probably would have had a lot less of this issue of friggin' FTC.
Yeah, probably.
From the very beginning.
If you could say, "Oh, my channel is clearly made for people over 17 or something like that," it's like, okay, exactly, got you.
Yeah, and you could see it by the videos, and even their algorithm. Like, if it says like you had manual things, like you've set your channel to being like, my channel's recommended for this age, then the AI goes into the video, hears you say the F a few too many times, and then lists you in a certain category. It's like, well, yeah, okay. He says he's in this category. Our AI says he's also in this category. Excellent. Okay, lovely stuff. And then you can start making everything a bit neater, but they don't, and instead they change the upload page again
to the same thing, but now it's worse because you have less control over it.
Yeah, this thing that wasn't broken. Yeah, let's fix that. Oh, what's that? Is that an issue that might actually be able to benefit our website and the creators on it? No, fuck that.
The same thing goes for like monetization. When I see like people, the whole channel or the whole video got claimed. Hey, what about implementing a system that allows people to share their income? For example, if someone takes like 5 minutes of music, you get like the percentage of this video. Like, what about that? Like, that would be great instead of claiming the whole video.
Yeah, our thing was from here to here, so you get that much watch time and money. Yeah, but nope.
Whole video. Bye.
But no, guys, we've reconstructed the front page. Like, great, cool.
It's so bad. Like, there must be incompetent people out. Like, I refuse.
No, they're very competent. They just don't care about our needs.
Don't caring is definitely a thing. But I refuse that smart people are working on this. I refuse to believe that. I think
the people are smart, but they're 150% not working for us. They're working for the company, and whatever reasons they're doing it for is to benefit the company.
Makes sense. I need to say.
That's all it can. That's all it could be for. That's all it could be for, is to benefit the company in some way that we don't know.
Yeah.
Like one of the big arguments about like not openly admitting to age rating and stuff. This is so that you could,
and that's,
so that they could lie to governments about how effective their AI system is on catching out certain
it's
things.
dumb, by the way. It's dumb.
Sorry?
It's dumb.
Oh, yeah.
The AI system is dumb.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But that's the thing that the German lawsuit will fight, you know? Because we have a faux employee-employer relationship. It's basically you're working for an employer, but it's telling, no, we're not an employer. No, to get away from the legalese. Because if in Germany, if you are, you have to be very clear to your employees what you're doing. And with that, I think, like, the German, from what I know in the past rulings, it will go through. It might take 2 to 3 years, but it will go through. Like, YouTube is fucked in Germany. They will. They will get problems.
Yeah, I hope it's sooner rather than later, and I hope that the world suddenly starts switching onto that as well. Because Jesus Christ, it's needed.
So our, like, it's like metal union, you know, like it's like metal workers, because we have one of the biggest car manufacturers in the world here. So we have a big union about cars, like metalwork.
Yeah.
And that union is responsible for every other type of union as well. So they're very, very big in Germany and also in Europe in general. And now they have like a branch of YouTube, you know, social. And YouTube refused to go into talks because Jörg Sprave, which is basically he's the big initiative that started this whole thing. He would be in the talks, and they refused to the talks because he would be in it. And like, okay, you're fucking hiding something. And because YouTube thinks, like, the people that work at YouTube thinks, we're gonna handle it like we handle in America. Just pay them money. Like, that's not how it works here. That's not how it works.
Throw money at the problem.
It has never worked here. We have a big union culture in Germany. And that's why it doesn't work. Shit doesn't work like that here. So I'm happy that it's happening. I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna get fucked. No chance you're gonna get away with this.
Well, they could pull like the ultimate sort of Kamehameha and just be suddenly like, okay, we're now no longer going to be accessible or used in Germany.
Yeah,
like,
good luck. Good luck with Xing a gigantic market. Good luck with that.
If it really depends on which one costs them less. That's what it's going to boil down to. What's going to be...
Then the problem is, if they do that, they're going to open a gigantic market for a competitor.
I honestly don't think there's a company in the world
that
could jump on it.
No. What I'm saying is, like, if they say, we're not going to have YouTube in Germany, then there will be a free room for a company to grow in Germany, free of any competitor, free of YouTube. Basically, they can get their own monopoly, and from there they could expand. That's what I mean.
They're obviously you get the grasp in Germany, but from outside, like from then on,
but wouldn't other people like try to jump towards the platform if they say, they have better deals? Like
I've seen many a company come and go now.
Like I said,
YouTube still stands like Feed me.
I think I said this often. Like YouTube has a monopoly on everything. They're not gonna fail.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like they I say, if it cost them less to just sort of like axe out Germany.
Yeah. They're probably gonna say, go fuck yourselves, Germans. We're not gonna deal with this shit.
Yeah, and because the thing is, like, say that there is a video company that or video broadcasting company that would take the reins in Germany. How many say all the German YouTubers then went over to this new platform?
Well, there are quite a few, but the German YouTubers. I
don't think that'd be enough to get the ball rolling to be significant, because you'd then be having to try and get other people from YouTube over to this new platform. Yeah, and that's a big ask for the average Joe.
Like I said in the last,
as I say, I've seen the likes of VidMe come and go.
Yeah,
Vimeo never really.
No, it's
doesn't even hold a candle. Like Dailymotion, all these other companies, like they're drops in the bucket compared to YouTube. Like, it's I don't know.
Now it's BitChute, but like I said, like in the last episode, the only reasonable way I see for a competitor to exist would be if someone like PewDiePie would say, I will build my own website plus my own web browser. That's the thing is, because then you could bring investors that could keep you afloat for a while, and you could bring at least like 10 to 15% of the platform of the audience to your website. That's what
That's a big maybe. Like my only concern is like I've seen him move over to. Have you heard of the platform D-Live?
Yeah,
D-Live. Yeah, and I think he brought over 1 million people. I think over to D-Live, and like that. Obviously, that did absolute wonders for the site.
Yeah,
but even him, I don't think he has enough pull on his own to start up a company.
If he would then bring other YouTubers, like all the makeup YouTubers, the other channels, the commentary channels and all that, if those people would build a group basically and make their own platform, like not only PewDiePie.
All of those YouTubers would have to unionize or one company. But even then, that would be a tough fight. Yeah, like that's how big of a stranglehold YouTube has. Like I think you could get the top 5% of every YouTube, like all YouTubers that are in the top 5%, over into a new platform and built that up. And I reckon it still would not be able to take over YouTube.
And you're still using Chrome. Like, you're still using the Google browser. So
that's it. Like, how many people have got Gmail? How many people how many people use Android that has Google Google software implemented into it straight off the bat?
They have a complete monopoly. They have a complete monopoly.
You can't break through that. That is like YouTube would have to crash on its own failures, not because something else succeeded.
I mean, the only way to break YouTube is to hack their data center and delete every single video. And even then, you would have like.
Well, I was thinking more like legal battles and stuff like that. Like you'd have to have pretty much to break the monopoly. You'd have to have every legal authority in the world spank YouTube
suing
until
them.
They couldn't just throw money at it.
Okay, so basically every country suing them.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that'd be the only way you could get YouTube to stop, is if you got every governing country to crumble.
Well, that's a hard sell.
Yeah. That's how bad the stranglehold is.
That's how powerful YouTube is, right? Like they are more powerful than most governments.
Yeah,
they're more powerful than
Google. Like
Alphabet.
Google. Alphabet could just make or break nations if it really wanted to.
That's one thing that I've been wondering, right?
They're a fucking James Bond villain. I'm sorry, they're in the making.
Yeah, that's the question I have. Like Coca-Cola and Google, Alphabet, Microsoft, and all those big tech companies, right? They could end authoritarian regimes. Like they
benefit them.
They could end like in a heartbeat. They could end a regime like that. It would be easy for them. But for some reason they don't. And like, is this more like they can't do it because that's not their. They're not allowed to, or is it more like they don't want to because those countries make money?
I think it's probably the latter. Like companies follow the dollars. Like that's all they follow. Yeah. And if suddenly they became big business in doing stuff like that, then maybe we'd see it. Which I mean, it's not going to happen.
The technocracy is coming. It's scary to a certain extent, to be honest. Like. These companies make more money than I will see in my whole life, plus the life of my children and grandchildren and their grandchildren and their grandchildren. And for that, 10 generations in front. Like, they make more money to feed everyone twice for a decade. And still, like, I don't know.
I mean, if you want to look at the power that private companies have, they manage to get... one particular company managed to put their boss as the leader of the free world.
Where?
Like Donald Trump is a businessman.
Oh yeah,
he's been rich enough and successful enough to pretty much
buy himself
into the presidency.
Yeah,
like that should be a fucking warning sign if ever I've heard one. If someone like Trump, who, if he wasn't successful money-wise, wouldn't have snowball's chance in hell on getting into the presidency, but because he went down a different road of money and connections,
plus having being a marketing genius and bringing something up every time his popularity was waning, he brought some. Exactly. It didn't matter if it was positive or negative, just his name being spoken. was good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, exposure is exposure. That's all that really matters. And not to be lie, it was
Genius.
his competition was
Weak.
yeah, very.
How the fuck do you put Hillary Clinton as your prime candidate if you have a totally viable alternative that would win the that would win the race 100%? Like, it wasn't even a question if Sanders were to win. It's like, if Sanders and Trump would go against each other, it wouldn't be even a question. It's like, yep, everyone is for Sanders. Even like conservatives would say, yep, he's still better than the devil.
Yeah. This, I'll tell you, this simulation we're living in is goddamn amazing in a bad way.
How the fuck do you put someone that has no backing by no one just oh no, I'm like the mastermind behind that did this. Like, oh god, you're so dumb.
It's horrifying. And yeah, like that just goes, as I say, like, that's the sort of world we're in now, where, as I say, like the first time in 30, like the last, say, 30 years has become the first time when private organizations are now more powerful than governing countries. Like,
well, in the late 20s, I think it was already like, at least in America, corporatism was also rampant. Like, companies would sit in the government branch and make laws. They would just
really? Was it that early?
Yeah, like
I never thought it was that early.
No, it was
fair play, but
like not the oil, the train industry and locomotive industry and coal industry. Those are the big industries that were sitting in governments basically, and just saying, here's a law you have to make. Bye bye. Here's the money you have make it. Like, this thing has been going on forever, and people think, I said that again in the last episode. People think, capitalism is gonna save us all. I'm like,
no,
it's a tool. You need You need like things that protect capitalism from going rampant, because capitalism doesn't concern itself with morals. It doesn't give a fuck about morals, because the only reason they exist is to make money. That's it. That's the only reason. Like, they don't care. Like, and it's not an evil or bad thing. Like, it's completely amoral, devoid of morals.
Yeah,
and that's my point every time.
Like, action. It's not a person, because a person has the morals. A person has right and wrong. Whether it's the same as someone else's right or wrong is neither here nor there. But a singular action can't have bias.
Yeah,
it's like that's like saying fucking gravity is
is evil because it makes me fall.
Yeah, like it's such a stupid argument, but the problem, we've got the problem of we're putting people into so much power, and the power by nature corrupts.
Yeah.
So you are fucked, 100%.
And that's why we need those rules, like that come from a system that is only concerned with morals, which is like a democracy. Like, people want people to be good. Like, they want people to behave themselves. That's why there are laws and all this stuff.
But the problem with that is, as I say, there's so many people's opinions on what's right and wrong differs to the next person.
Yeah.
So
I have the solution. No, I have the solution.
Exactly. Yeah. And like it's just like the frigging the meme of Star Wars Episode 3 with Anakin screaming, to me, the Jedi are evil. And like, they've been sort of making the last few videos based around that sort of thing. It's like, well, yeah, but how you look at something, you could say that person over there is evil, and then they might look at you and say that you're evil. Like, there's no
but for
good
real,
or evil. It's your perception of.
For real now, like the Jedi take away children and train them.
Yeah.
Like, I would say this is evil. I would say it's evil. Like, it's not the cool thing to do.
They take away feelings. Even though they say they're completely void of politics or whatnot, they're absolutely balls deep in it with the council, doing wars and stuff. Like, and then on the other side, you got the Sith, who act on their emotions and feelings, who do whatever they want. Like,
oh my god,
it's free.
I just realized
freedom versus security. It's Captain America versus Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's the same argument every time. What's that? Sorry.
I just realized that Star Wars actually advocates for centrism. No shit. What? We have to burn it. Now I'm myself like I'm a centrist. Like I lean sometimes left, sometimes right. That's why I sometimes don't understand politics. Because I'm like, shouldn't the solution be based on like the problem? Like instead of this is my ideology, I want to solve it like that. Like that's my point always. Like shouldn't like you go look at the problem first and then solve it? Wouldn't that be the thing? Instead of no, this is my stance and everything that goes against it is wrong. I don't know, man.
It's
the world is fucked.
Politics. Politics is dirty, and I don't like it.
Great. I think we should slowly, come to the end because I don't want to edit another 4-hour episode.
No problem at all.
Oh god, that was. Oh yeah. Anyways,
got a little
good.
carried away there, both
I think we talked about everything. Did you watch it by the way? Like, did you watch it right? Like in parts, I think. Was it
the with you and Tizelle?
Yeah.
Okay. I was watching it going back from like the gym and stuff. Like, it's about good. About an hour there and back.
Because so I think you watched everything like, oh god, no, please don't. Anyways,
I couldn't watch it all in one, but I did watch all of it.
I don't expect anyone. That's why I have like timestamps. That's the reason I have that. Good. Last thing I think I ask everyone is for advice. I think if you have any advice for people that are starting out right now on YouTube, or maybe anything else, like your job, your life, whatever, like any advice you want to give to people that, just tell them what they should do. A few guidelines here and there.
My word. I think that nobody has the right answers for themselves, let alone anybody else. But I will try and say that focus on what you want to have and what makes you happy. So if making a load of videos makes you happy, then do that. And the moment it starts not being a happy thing, take some time and try and find something else that will cover that, almost make you feel a bit feel a little bit better about yourself. Like for myself, I've taken time away to focus on other things to make myself better. So I think focusing on the things that you want, and don't try and get yourself in the mentality of I have to do this, because there's not an awful lot of things in this life that you absolutely have to do. So look to the things that you want to do.
I agree.
And once you've figured out what those things are that you want, put in as much as you can to it. I won't say put in 100%, because that's how you're going to absolutely destroy yourself. Put in as much as you can without it becoming unbearable, and just sort of play it from there. Like there's no secret to success. There's no secret to a satisfying, fulfilling life. You've got to look at everything as it happens and go by your judgment, and whatever happens, happens.
Great.
Deal with it.
Thanks. Good. I think. Do you want me to show you stuff, or do you want to show you stuff yourself? Just go for it. Show your stuff. Tell the people what they should do, what they should check you out, and
well, I am slowly coming back to YouTube again. / Craig Beckett Rants.
I think you have to repeat that.
I'll take it out. Sorry. I'm slowly coming back to YouTube now. I've taken some time off, and I wanted to get myself back into a better place, and I'm starting to do that. You can find me on youtube.com / Craig Beckett Rants. I make commentary, comedy, weird, random, interactive, quote unquote, videos that people can give ideas to and have conversations, because I enjoy a good old conversation. So you can find me on YouTube, or if you want to actually have a proper chat with me, you can find me on Twitter at Craig Beckett 52.
Great. I would advise to watch the last video about dark web unboxing. It's very good actually. I think it's a thing that is not being highlighted anymore. It just gets like people talk about it. It's a fad, and then just people forget about it. But it's still out there. It's weird shit that shouldn't be. Well, however, it's not. Yeah. Good. I would say take care of yourselves and have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.